Chris Webber didn't play any defense. TNT's coverage of the NBA playoffs continues tonight with a triple header starting at 4 Eastern. Chris Webber will be on the call for Game 4 tonight between the Lakers and the Blazers at 9 Eastern. Good morning, C-Web. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Why have we seen these crazy numbers as far as scoring, the highest scoring postseason in the last 35 years?
Well, I said before this whole experience that I thought the bubble was the great equalizer. And what I meant by that was, the momentum isn't as tangible. If you're a first-year player in the playoffs, it's not as intimidating. You don't have thousands of fans yelling at you. The energy. You saw Porzingis get a technical in his first game. Well, I expected that from young guys. He's been waiting to be in the playoffs for 5 years. So how do you manage that emotion? And here you don't have to, along with the travel. After games, usually last night you would have left around 1:30 in the morning, got to a hotel on the West Coast, the longest travel, 4:30 in the morning, had to eat, wake up this morning and have meetings. And so you don't have any of that. Everyone has the same routine. And I think that that's allowed for just some really good play, along with this is the most rested we've ever seen any players head into the playoffs. And I think rest has a lot to do with it because of the hiatus.
Explain this to me, because I'm still waiting to find an answer that I never want the best player on the floor to have the ball with the chance to win the game. I would run two people at you. I want you to give up the ball. The Clippers allowed to have Luka to get the ball, and then even a switch on defense that Reggie Jackson ended up with him. I know that I look at the end result and he made it. I just don't like single coverage on the great players. And that was my biggest issue. Well, I had a few issues with the Clippers, but that one, explain that to me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just think the fact, though, that because Kawhi was on him, I think it was miscommunication. And so, first of all, you're right in your strategy. Take it out the hot man's hands, But the problem is on that team, you still have Hardaway and others that could shoot, but I'd rather have them shoot before Luka. But that switch, once you get into it, and that's the way that it was, and you got to look at the brilliance of his move. It's a move called the hands up. And hands up is when you dribble, you look up and you hesitate and you keep going. And because he can shoot off the dribble, his hands up is crazy. You have to honor every fake that Luka has. So one, you're right. It should have doubled. But when they didn't, I thought Reggie Jackson played as good a defense as you could because you still have to watch out for the pump fake and him leaning into you that late. So that's what we call good D, better O. And Luka's just he's just starting off making a little resume for himself on why he's going to be a great one pretty soon.
Explain his greatness.
Okay. He's 6'8". He's strong. I'm talking about he's really strong. He's about 250, 255. He can get anywhere he wants in the paint because he's quick, because of his footwork. You don't have to be fast in this game. Fast is more for the John Walls and the Westbrooks when you're going full court. He's not that player that's going to go full court. Actually, he is. All he needs is a screen at the top of the key. And depending on how high they screen, he can either shoot a 40-foot three, a 30-foot three, or he can lay it up. He can finish inside. He can facilitate out of the post when he wants to. He's unselfish, and the best thing I like about him, Dan, that boy got heart. Did you see him talking to them the other day, letting them know? So for me, old school, that performance and the way that he was saying, "I'm here, stop me," that to me, that was exciting. Even when he made the shot and it wasn't a crowd, to me, it was almost more exciting than a crowd being there because you really saw the raw emotion of the team. And he's good, but most importantly, he's savvy. He's a leader, and he has confidence.
Okay, what do you do, if anything, if you're the NBA, to Montrezl Harrell, who had some things to say to Luka a couple of times during the previous game? You fine, suspend?
Well, I think that's something for the league office to talk about. I also think that's the responsibility of the league that I don't know if we need to see a player's mouth in slow motion every time they make a play. There's a lot of things said out there. And it's messed up. So first of all, saying stuff is one thing. So I don't want to speak on what he said. That's one thing, and it may be a suspension. And secondly, I know there were things that were said just as bad or worse in every game since I've been here. And it's just been whose mouth they put the camera on.
But what did you face? What did you hear when you played?
Ours was more questioning your manhood. Ours was more, um, I very honestly, I really didn't hear a lot because I will win a crazy contest. So you don't want to talk junk to the guy that'll win a crazy contest. And
Wait, what do you mean you would win a crazy contest?
well, I win a crazy contest. It was an old Fred Sanford episode where Lamont and Grady were together, and Lamont had a date in a bar, and this guy was going to beat him up. And so Grady told him, "Listen, just act crazy." And Lamont was just screaming, acting like he knew karate, and the guy was like, "I'm not fighting you. You crazy." So for me, it was just that I'm kind of quiet. I'll talk junk on the move, but if we really want to get into talking, you don't want to do that because I will talk to you every day for the rest of your life. Remember every game, and you just don't want that because the stuff I could pull out, you just don't want. I mean, I've called a timeout. I've been to the worst. I can I can I can mind game you, and so my thing was just keep it quiet. But Gary Payton, he was. I used to love playing against him because he used to talk so much junk to my players. I remember the first game Peja played, and he told he told Peja, if you shoot the ball again, if Peja made it, he said, you shoot the ball again, I'm going to smack the hell out of you. And I won the crazy contest because I told Coach, hey, I got to get, kicked out of this game to show Peja that, I got his back forever. And me and Gary we just went at it. And we had the craziest talking match. And then we went out to dinner after the game. And it was a little WWF when you talk, but for some guys, if you don't know, it's real. But you just got to get through the mental games, man.
We're talking to Chris Webber, Turner Sports NBA analyst. Are the Clippers in trouble?
Yes.
Why?
Well, Doc Rivers told me before Game 3 that they were lucky to be tied at 1-1. They're in trouble because, it is almost like having a 4th and 5 and running it every time, and you're on your own 30-yard line. You know how deflating that could be, and when they penetrate, I mean, you think about it, this is the best, in my opinion, defensive team, especially on the perimeter, Pat Beverly or not. And so the fact that Luka has just been straight up able to dominate, kind of like Donovan Mitchell against Denver, when you have those type of series and those type of games, LA knows that they could lose. PG hasn't really had a good game in this series. Think about this. Porzingis didn't even play last game. He was an early game scratch, So, yeah, they're in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble.
I don't understand the Paul George situation here. Is he injured? Is there something we don't know about Paul George that he has not been that great player he was in Oklahoma City?
It could be, but I don't know what that is. I like how he's taking responsibility, at least in game 1 and 2. And some guys have slumps. I thought he took some really good shots in game 3. I thought he kept playing defense and staying involved, but I don't know what it is. Sometimes guys get the yips in the playoffs, or sometimes they just have a bad series. But when you have consecutive series in different years, it does stand out to you and make you go, hey, what's going on? But I'm interested to see tonight. We have the game, but after the game the other day, we asked Kawhi, can you guys win without this? And I loved his answer. He was like, yeah, we can win, and Paul's going to come out shooting. So I'm just interested in seeing. LA, to me, has played Hollywood a little bit. Like when the Lakers didn't have Kobe, they were a little too cool and didn't win, and it was like the Lake Show without any substance. Well, that seems to be like what's going on with the Clippers now, because they used to come out and get on you defensively, stay on you, and it's just been a different team. Harold Montrez has to get into shape. He's not running off. So they're definitely in trouble because Dallas is good. They have confidence, and they want to prove to the world that they can beat all of our predictions for champions.
Blazers take game 1. Lakers have come back and look like we thought they would. Lakers still have issues?
I think they're still going to have issues, but they still have LeBron, so they're going to always have a chance. But, yeah, they have issues. They need shooting. They need perimeter shooting. And until they find that, I would force LeBron to keep scoring, or I would double team him and take the ball out of his hands and just make the others beat you. That's what you have to do with LeBron on the floor. And so, that's going to continue to be an issue, and they're going to have to continue to find ways to overcome their shooting woes.
76ers game plan, is it now officially processed? Because the process doesn't continue after what we saw in the bubble here. What's next?
Yeah, I think you blow that team up.
Who do
I
you
think
keep?
it depends on who the locker room likes.
But
I
I
mean,
don't. I mean, I just brought this up, Chris. They brought in Al Horford. They spent $100 million on Al Horford to come in and be a locker room presence.
an older Al Horford.
Yes.
An older Al Horford that can't play like he used to. Yeah, I questioned that decision then.
Yeah.
You think about the Celtics made an offer and they didn't want to see him go, but they were like, for that, okay, we love you, Al. see you later. So yeah, I think you have to question some decision makers, even letting Reddick go. I mean, they really had some good pieces there, and you think about it, losing 25 games consecutively, twice in a season, tanking to get to this point, talking about the process, monetizing the losses, and then getting here and it being this way. It's really disappointing. But I think you're going to have to make a choice between Simmons and you're going to have to make a choice between Embiid. It's just anytime you hear rumblings between players, that to me, just blow it up early because it can't get any better. And then you see in the playoffs with Embiid by itself, you can't do it. So they're going to have to figure something out, but definitely start with whoever they keep with those two or one or the other. They're going to have to get some shooting around that individual.
Kobe would have turned 42 yesterday. What's your favorite memory about him?
Man, I got so many. Just the rivalry. You know, we used to talk about that a lot, and he understood. And the reason why he was so great was because he understood that he's one shot away from losing. He respected every opponent. That's why he treated them all as if he was playing against Jordan or Bird or the best. And so my favorite memories are just being around and talking basketball or hearing a little snide remark about the Kings from him slipping. And I'm like, what you just say about it? You know, those two things. And then just loved watching him mature after. You know, as athletes, you know, our family support us so much. And, they from what you being on the road, they support us so much. And so after retirement, you just want to give back so much to him. And it's just, I knew he was looking forward to this part of his life to spend with his family.
I still find that amazing when he put up 81 on the Raptors, then he went to dinner and Jalen Rose was with him, or he went to dinner with Jalen Rose, and Jalen was on the Raptors, and Kobe ordered a martini and he asked for 81 olives. Did you ever hear that story?
No, but that's cold. That's cold. And I bet he brought them all there and had them on a toothpick.
57, 58,
That's
59.
a great quote.
Yeah. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well in the bubble there. C-Web will be, Game 4 tonight. Lakers and the Blazers. That's at 9 Eastern on TNT with Brian Anderson. Great talk to you, C-Web.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
All right.